Damn, Sam.
Hey, what up YouTube? This is Sanfran, and we already made a video on this playtest for FragPunk, and I kind of just showed the gameplay preview, but now we're going to do a little review. We wrap things up. It's towards the end of this whole playtest. So I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of this, what I liked, what I didn't like, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. First things first, I gotta give credit to the things that don't get enough love in video games, but the art style, really good. The art design, character design, everything. The music in the main menu, I'm digging it. I'm vibing to it while I'm waiting for a match to start up. And the menu is super smooth. When you move your mouse around certain things, I don't know if any of y'all pay attention to this, but it just feels nice, you know, and it just looks clean and organized. Love it. There's a big emphasis on cosmetics in this game. So that goes from skins for your favorite Lancers, to emotes for them, to decorating your player card or your banner, or even your guns. You could put silly little stickers like this piece of poop, or you can attach a kill counter actually to your gun so you can see the number of kills you've gotten with that weapon. It's pretty neat actually. I love when games do that. All right, so I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of the actual game now, because that's what y'all came here for, right? So matchmaking is simple, very easy, and that says a lot for a very early prototype of a game. I mean, this game is set to release next year, not even the end of this year. So for this playtest to just meet all my expectations when it comes to matchmaking, I mean, the servers never had an issue for me or my friend who even joined my party, no problem. Sometimes you can't even join people's parties in a playtest. Either they don't allow it or it's just so bugged, you know? So we had a blast. We had a good time partying up, having a good time in this game. I will say this game feels like a mix of Valorant and Friends versus Friends. If they had a love child, this would be that game. The style of it, the style of short matches, having one life in an extraction kind of game mode, that's where you see a lot of Valorant similarities. But also you have the card first-person shooter aspect of Friends versus Friends, where you draw a card, it could change the map, it could change the, you know, benefits on your team, or it could give your enemy team negatives and make it harder for them. That's all Friends versus Friends. Honestly, I love it. I love the mix. I could really see this game prospering with that as long as they keep up to date with the updates and give the community what they want. And I'm not going to speak on the behalf of the community that play Valorant, but from this guy who has played Valorant, we'll take it from him, but he said that this feels like Valorant, but without recoil, which I thought was pretty funny. So yeah, if you're a Valorant player and you switch over to this, you should have no problem. Might just adjust to not having recoil, but other than that, you're probably going to be a really MLG gamer on this. I said MLG gamer like MLG isn't already Major League Gamer. I said Major League Gamer, but you know what I mean. You're going to be pretty good at this game if you switch from Valorant, so yeah, that's always a plus. I'm going to explain some of the game modes, the different type of game modes that were released with this playtest. So first off, we have Shard Clash, which is a competitive mode that will have you testing your skills of extraction, where teams will take turns attacking and defending points, while the team that is attacking will have to plant a converter to turn the world into a negative Instagram filter. So basically extraction mode in CSGO or Valorant or whatever you will, you know, associate that with. If you die in a round with a certain gun, you're going to have to say goodbye because the next round you cannot use that gun. You only get to use it once. If you win the round though, you could use that gun as much as you please. Now this seems like normal extraction, nothing major, right? Wrong. There's a twist. So each round, everyone earns points depending on how well they play. And in the beginning of each round, you and your team will use those points to acquire cards that will either help your team, up the difficulty for the other team, or change the playing field for everyone for that current round. But be aware, the other team gets to choose from a stack of cards too. The abilities are silly. So these abilities include such things as putting turtles on your team's back, so that way if the enemies shoot you in the back, you're A-okay, unless they aim for the legs or anything like that. You could give the enemies big heads, so it's easier to snipe or get headshots. Really funny stuff there. You can add 2 bots on your team. You could change the environment so that you could hide in tall grass or slide in the snow, so you can do some crouch slides. Really cool stuff. Very dynamic. There's a lot of different cards even in the playtest that you can work with. There's some I've been playing for 6+ hours now. And at the very last hour, I saw a different card that I'd never seen before. So they already have a lot. You know they're going to add more. So that's great news there. They even have something once you get to level 15 where you can use relics. So what the relics do is they give you extra perks, such as not having to spend a point in order to flip a card, get a new one. If in a stack of 3 cards you get, you don't like one of them, hey, guess what? You can change it. So you can change one of those cards, or you can use one to acquire more points when you're the one planting in that current round. You get more points for the next round to be able to spend those points efficiently. So like I said before, the objective is some team is going to attack and plant the converter. The other team has to prevent the enemy team from doing exactly that. So they have to defend. And the first team to win 4 rounds wins the whole game. But there is one thing. So, and this is my favorite part about this game mode, actually. So if your team and the opposing team are kicking major booty, then the game will go into a 1v1 last stand game mode where you and your team will choose the order of who will go first to last on your team for these 1v1 duels. Then when it's your time to shine, when you're up in that duel, you better give it all you got because all eyes are on you and the pressure is on. Now, if you or one of your teammates wins their duel match, they get to keep on going until they lose. So the goal is to knock out all the opponents on the opposing side, and that determines the ultimate winner. And my suggestion, don't go in with a shotgun, and also don't use circuit and try to appear behind them like you're smart, because obviously these people have headphones on. They hear when you teleport behind them, and they can also see your little orb when you're like going around, and it's kind of embarrassing. So that's Shard Clash. Then I will say there's also a tutorial. Very helpful, not really mandatory. You can pretty much learn this shit on your own. It's not rocket science. But if you're new to these types of games like Overwatch or Valorant or CSGO and you don't know these types of games, you might as well do tutorial, but it's pretty basic. There's a scrimmage mode if you just want to get better with your guns. You can't use abilities in this, but you can use guns. So, you know, to your heart's content, you can keep on killing enemies all day long. You could be there for 2 hours if you really want to. It's like any other type of scrimmage. I'm glad they have it in this game. Even when you're in a lobby waiting for a match to start, it puts you in the scrimmage, so you can go ahead and just go buck wild, you know, try to get those headshots, try to do some crazy knife kills, whatever you want to do. Then there is another Shard Clash, but it's not competitive. It's with bots. And I will say that's for all the noobs out there. But it does take long to get into this match. And I would suggest if you're afraid to attempt playing with other players, if you're just not confident in your own ability, bro, this game just came out a day ago. Not even came out. It's the playtest. No one's a professional. Just jump in a lobby with players if you want to get better, because you're never going to get better playing against bots. I mean, I played with the bots. I tried this, and I will say that an NPC set some of the same traps in the same spots. We never lost a match, never lost a round. It was just way too easy. I would definitely recommend, if you do need to practice with guns, go into scrimmage, like I mentioned before, or even do deathmatch. Do deathmatch if you're not confident in the one life kind of extraction game mode. There is another mode for you, deathmatch. It's pretty fun. So yeah, definitely try that out. They also have a shooting range for you people that just want to test out guns, test out abilities, and not keep dying because it's your first time using the ability. If you just want to use it on some bots, feel free to in the shooting range. Super dope stuff there. Besides Shard Clash, there is no other mode right now where you can use the card abilities. That might change further in the playtest, and I assume for sure it will change whenever the game drops. It won't just be Shard Clash. There's probably going to be deathmatch modes or free-for-alls where you can use cards, probably on a smaller scale, like Friends versus Friends, where it's 2v2 game modes or 3v3 game modes. I assume that's coming. So, you know, deathmatch is a good way to get used to your characters and your guns that you choose. But like I said before, again, if you just want to go into the extraction game mode, do Shard Clash with people. You'll get the hang of it. Now, the characters are really cool. I feel like they are very well balanced. I will say that my favorite character is Circuit, because she has certain assets And her abilities are cool too. She can travel through the sand and sneak behind enemy lines. She can send out dust clouds to blind and slow down opponents. And she can set a sand trap to capture her foes and get easy hits on them. Good for those sniping headshots. Just be aware and don't do what I did. But people can see you when you're traveling through the sand. They see a little orb on their screen. I didn't know this at first, and it was very embarrassing because I just strolled right past someone, and they just were like, yeah, I see you, bud. And they blasted me. So that's always fun. So there's other cool characters like Broker, who has the insane rocket launcher shot. And then there's Zephyr, who can actually turn invisible partially, but she has an ability to add to the equation to make her fully invisible. And in this mode, she can't shoot or else she'll become visible again. She can only use melee to keep the visibility cloak on. But being that melee is the strongest, OP'est thing in this game, doesn't really matter. It does make her a very OP character to start with if you like melee type combat and up close combat. I will say that if you hit someone in the back without charging a shot, it's already 150 damage, and that's the most HP anyone has unless they use a card to up their health. But that's pretty OP. And then you could even right click and hold that down to do a charge shot. And if you hit them in the front or the back with that charge shot with the knife, you are deleting them from the game. They're going to rage quit and just get out the lobby. Hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, it's an OP character that has an OP set of skills. There's 10 characters that you can play in this playtest. Once it releases, obviously there's going to be more than that. Kind of like Overwatch, how Overwatch started, or any other type of game like that. Valorant, you know, Row Company, that kind of stuff. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. What's your favorite character? That's what I want to know. So another good thing about this game is that you are not locked to certain weapon choices because you chose a certain character. So for example, like on Overwatch, you choose Widowmaker, you better be the prime time sniper on that team because you got to know what you're doing, right, with that weapon. But in this game, that's not the case. You can choose any character and you can match them with any weapon once you enter a match. Doesn't matter if you're Circuit or Broker or Zephyr, you're going to be able to choose Sniper, Shotgun, SMG, AK, etc. The only thing that's tied to that certain character that you're locked into is the abilities that they have at their disposal. Some of those abilities do give you weapons, like Homesdale, who has a sniper for one of her abilities. But again, abilities are the only thing that's locked to that character. I will say in this game, the gunplay is one of the smoothest I've seen in a playtest. Like, especially in a playtest, I'm saying like this playtest was really well done. They actually tested this stuff, because I know you've played some playtests before where you're like, it releases, not even playtests, alphas, betas, or the game fully launched. And you're like, did they play this before they released it? Because it's so broken. But no, I have not had a single issue with gunplay. I haven't had a single issue with glitches or game-breaking bugs. I mean, there was one. There was only one I discovered, and I was not recording at the time. But there's a level with a big old door that you can actually get to the top of, and someone was up there just sniping us one by one. So, and I didn't know where to look. I didn't know they could get on the door, so they were kind of tucked behind in a secret spot. I'm sure the devs are going to notice that and work things out. But yeah, other than that, that was only one round. It's not even like it got exploited, because I haven't seen anyone else use that bug, and it might have been circumstantial that maybe the person that got there didn't even know how they got there. Maybe it was a bug that surprised them, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, I'll just take advantage of it. But yeah, other than that, nothing game breaking here. The gunplay is smooth, and the HUD. Let's talk about the HUD for a second. The HUD is amazing. The HUD is amazing. And the menu, again, is very organized, very neat. Everything looks... I mean, it's just easy to find, and it just looks cool. So now I'm going to get into the cons, and I really don't have much bad to say about this game. I saw somewhere that someone said the maps are really small, but I mean, what game in this style doesn't have small maps? CSGO has small maps, and they're an extraction-based game. Friends vs. Friends is a card first-person shooter game, and Valorant is the most similar game I could compare this game to, and it has small maps too. So I don't really think that's a problem, but if I had to turn it into a negative, I would say this game knows what direction it's going in, right? It has a certain art style. It's very emo punk, just smooth, calm, collective, just it's flavorful, right? I love it. Why don't they add that to the map design too? Because the characters, the menu screen, the HUD display, all of it screams that cool, creative art style. The maps, kind of lackluster. Literally, like, if I saw these maps without the characters or anything else, the HUD, anything, if I took the HUD display off, I would think this is just a scene from Valorant. I would think this is just a scene from Valorant. And they already set the bar high with these visuals and like real high. So if they match that energy on the maps, I'd say that would be a plus. So that's the only real bad thing I could say. I mean, other than that, if I had to find one other thing, just so I don't seem biased about the game, I would say there's not a huge penalty for leaving the game early. I have noticed in my matches, even in the competitive ones, if you jump out of the game, because I tried this just for research purposes, I try to jump out of the game and see how long it would take me to get back into the game, and it only gave me a 10-second ban or something. Maybe if I did it multiple times, it'd give me a longer ban. So maybe that's not fair to say that's even a con. I'm just really looking for stuff now. But yeah, I think map design, I think, could use a little bit more work, but that's really it. So I guess this wouldn't be a actual review unless I gave it a rating at the end of this video. So let me go ahead and do that. So we talked about a lot of things today. We talked about the different game modes, how fluid the menu is, the visual art style, how appealing it is. I want to also say that obviously I mentioned the music is good, but even the gunplay sounds good. So there's a lot of pluses about this game. Now, they don't invent the wheel. Obviously, they take bits and pieces from other games, but what game isn't inspired by other games? It's really hard to come up with a very original idea, but I will say this game knows what direction it's heading in, and it takes bits and pieces that it likes from other games and combined them and made a masterpiece. And it did it right. And without the servers crashing, without any major bugs happening in this playtest, I will say that's a very, very solid impression. At least it leaves an imprint in my mind that this is something that the devs actually care about and want to see work out in the end. It's not going to be a game for everyone, but it is a game that if you enjoy this general type of game, short little quick death matches or the extraction modes that are also very short on small level maps, well, then you're going to really love this game. Plus, with the added ability to have cards at your disposal, change the playing field, it really, I don't know, it really makes it unique and fun in the end. Even though it takes bits and pieces from other things, like I said, I think it adds bits and pieces of its own as well. And also, in the Shard Clash mode, the 1v1 duels are phenomenal. They're super fun. I don't think I've seen that in a game. A lot of games try to invent death matches or final stands in their own way, make them kind of cool. I think that mode, the 1v1 duels, being a final stand kind of thing, is actually pretty fun. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. That's my take on this game. So here we are again, YouTube, back at where I started the video. If you made it this far, please leave a like, please leave a comment, please follow or subscribe, and hit that notification bell too. Tell me what you think. Who's your favorite character? What are your favorite weapons to use? What are your favorite abilities? What do you think is OP? And what do you think is just weak sauce that needs to be buffed? I would love to know. I'm going to check the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.
Damn, Sam.